When we last left off in the world of Tungra, Lunarion makes his parlay with the serpents of the embrace as he stands before the leadership of the Yuan Ti. And why has this boy slithered to his death?
You don't wish to kill me. You wish to hear what I have to say. For I've returned to the past, from the past, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that your high priestess Solara, she does not achieve her goals. And I do have alternatives to this. Ways that we can win. Ways that we, all of the Yuan-Ti, can acquire vengeance without having to sacrifice our sons and daughters. If you would hear me, I have all the information you need to make an object decision on how to proceed forward. I do not return as House Vesic. I return, as I throw down Duke Ungi's lance, as the vessel you've sought after for so long. Start the great recycle.
The vessel, born of House Vesic. Impossible. You speak as if we are continuing to sacrifice our children. We are well beyond that.
No, you don't need to
grandfather
sacrifice your children.
Could not see through the truth. High Priestess Lara has solved all of our problems with the help of the Korthans and the Ophianoid program. We have created new Yuan Ti to sacrifice.
Yes, and you mean to do so in Leander. Correct?
As he sort of looks around. Yes, how do you know this?
Because I was there. I met with High Priestess Solara. And there was another priestess with her as well. Can I recall her name?
Yeah, Shavira, you saw her in the crowd.
Yeah, I saw Shavira in the crowd as well.
Shavira.
High Priestess Solara is where I've gained my knowledge, or the bulk of it. As he turns to Arch Preceptor and the other bit from Asmodeus himself.
So, is this true, Sszarth'Kha? Asmodeus speaks through him. My patron. He tells me this one speaks the truth. He has seen the reset. How?
By miracle twofold. I met Zahir of my own free will. I drank of the vial of Zahir's blood. In the mall, Zahir presented me with the visions of the previous resets. I saw through space and time for what felt like an eternity. The reset does not conclude there because there are more works that needs to be done first. And to do that, Serpent's embrace must leave the shadows and become all that it is destined to be. For ones who wish to progress our race, you cripple it with your small ideals. I do not mean to disrespect you. I mean to request that you think a bit further, for there are many options for acquiring the ultimate goal that we all want here.
You seek to disrespect House Sszarth'Kha and call us weak on the day of my son's funeral. What gives you the right? House Lunarion of the exiled house.
I do not mean to disrespect my own kin. This is something that I've come to learn from High Priestess Sszarth'Kha herself. I understand that we are not cursed in the manner that I believed us to be. But instead, we've been cursed from the very top. From the architect of the very first sin of our universe. I mean to usher us into a new era without the need of the great recycle, but while maintaining the power to conduct the great recycle at any moment. Would you like to know what I saw in the previous recycles, Sszarth'Kha? The gods persisted. We need to do more than just enact the great recycle. And if you trust Arch Preceptor of House Corthan, the mighty house whom I once believed to be against us, to be against all races in Tungra, and to be so selfish beings, torturing others just for the joy of it, to actually be saviors of the world. If you trust Arch Preceptor of House Corthan, the members that have sacrificed almost more than everyone else in this room for the sake of pushing us forward to the next day. If you understand that I bear the mark of Asmodeus, and in addition, I bear the eyes of the great Lizette, then you will listen to what I have to say. And by the end, you would have agreed with my plan for ultimate control of all things.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
$25.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
$8.
Go ahead and make an arcana check.
All right, 13.
And lastly, I need a dexterity save.
13.
Okay. As Sakar steps forward, as he does, you see the numbers on each of their heads begin to fluctuate rapidly. As one by one, you see Vazira of House Rasses number stops at 28. Varan of House Shivani number stops at 28. The Catharian's number stops at 28. As the Preceptor's number fluctuates, and it stops at 15. And then you see that Sszarth'Kha's number stops at 0.
Who stops at 0?
Sakar Zalti's.
Okay.
And you think the Yuan Ti will follow you? You, the boy.
It is for my people to decide. But you do not understand what I wield and how many cards are in my hand and just how grand the scope my plan encompasses. You mean to start to recycle, to spite the gods, and to save ourselves and our future. Let me tell you what I mean to do and what I have and how far I'm willing to go. Will you listen? Are you still suspicious of me?
You speak like a king, like you would have me bow before you. Exile.
You want to do not bow. If you bow before me, then everyone in this room will take your head. That goes for each member in this room. I do not wish for anyone to bow. I wish for you to listen, to humor you in the hypothetical that I do become this grand leader, this king that you so highly speak of me as. Even then, I don't wish for my subjects to bow. I wish for my subjects to look me in the eye and relish in the truth. For too long Have lies been able to lead this world? I don't wish to have slaves. I wish to have peers and understanding of the truth before us that everyone in this room is aware of. As he turns around and he looks to like everybody in the room. Hear me, children of the Serpent. Our high priestess Lara fans the embers of the great recycle in Leander. This I know. She waits for the key. And as I've told you, the key is in my blood. But I will not turn that lock yet. I hold the spark as a last remedy, a blade kept sheath until all other roads are spent. Sszarth'Kha, Varan, Vizeri, Arch Preceptor, and High Hierophant. A reset might reclaim what was stolen. It might undo the lie of false rebirth. It might be a mercy. It might be vengeance. Still, a broken world that leaves the gods on their thrones is no freedom. Only a cycle continued beneath different hands. Hear me clearly, leaders of the 5 mighty houses of Serpent's Embrace. We will not settle for halves. First, we will strike at the architects of our curse. We will hunt the gods who counted our lives as coin, who hid truth from their faithful, who stitched sorrow into fate. We will tear their thrones down to their roots. Only when the old gods are unmade, and only if no other paths remain, will the cycle be considered. Not first. Sszarth'Kha, you of all people, what of our kin, who have bled and waited, you on the front lines of our military, they deserve true choice. A life not tethered to divine whim. For them, we gather power. The 10 rings. Relics forged to wound deities. And I tell you here, you council, that 3 are in my grasp. I bear one here. As he lifts his hand up, and black flames start to engulf his hands, and he summons a dagger that he throws at the foot of Sszarth'Kha. We have a living map to the rest, and they too will be seized. With these arms, we will face any adversary, mortal or divine. We do not seek ruin. We seek a world where free will breathes without celestial yokes. Stand with me. Together we will take the rings. We will break the thrones. And if need be, I will wield the recycle only as a final justice. To every living Yuan-Ti in this room, I am Lunarion. I hold the key. And I will use it only when the gods have been made to fall. I will lead Serpent's Embrace into the outer edges of Tungra and reality itself. I will spread truth across all nations. I tell you here that even without the great recycle, without countless death, I will lead Tungra to paradise. Serpent's Embrace at the helm of it all. As the flames start to subside from his wrist, and he speaks to Asmodeus, and he says, Asmodeus, are you there?
Do not get an answer.
Fine. As he looks at Sark, Sszarth'Kha, do you have enemies in this room? I need you to look clearly to your left and to your right. For with these eyes of Lizette, I can tell you with absolute certainty that today appears to be the day where you fall to your death. You have no time left on your lifespan. And I don't wish to fight you. So your adversary must be coming elsewhere. As he looks to the rest of you, it appears that the rest of you has 28 days left to live. As he looks across the room and he starts to state the numbers, and I'm sure that you would tell me, but for the sake of time, he starts to state the numbers of each individual member in the room. When you speak of power, counsel, this is the kind of power we need to take true vengeance and to spread the truth of the world, of the curse that bounds us all. If I have not made myself clear, I will make myself plain. My goal is to seize dominion over the north of Primos and wield the might of the Serpentine Empire in Serpent's embrace as the vessel of revelation, and proclaim the truth long forgotten, that all mortals are bound by a divine curse, yet through unity, beneath one unyielding banner, not five, not however many nations there are beneath our feet, we shall reclaim the legacy torn from our souls. Through rebirth and the eternal cycle, we shall rend the heavens, unmake the false gods, and forge new deities. Beings of balance who command what mortals cannot, yet shall never again meddle in mortal fate, as the old gods once have. And with my Yuan-Ti blood, I speak truth when I say that other nations shall face this truth and kneel before it. And some will accept it in reverence, while others will bow in fear. And those who resist shall be made to kneel, but not in cruelty, but for their own salvation, that they too may be delivered from the curse and share in the dawn of a reborn world. Sszarth'Kha, I heard your speech. I know my words do not fall on deaf ears. I can see your body trembling as I speak. Agree with me and speak it aloud. For Yuan-Ti do not hide how we feel. Speak, Sszarth'Kha.
I will not stand for this. As he goes to raise his blade, and you hear a voice from Vasira as she stands up. She says, "Ah, ta ta ta. The right, Sszarth'Kha. Even if it is your son, you must honor it. And besides, if what he is saying is true, then we have found the vessel. Then he truly is the key. As House Rassus has always stood firm with those of House Vesic, despite the council's differences. Lord Shivani, if you would prepare the concoction." As they begin to procure a very specific poison. As we all know, as the Arch Preceptor begins to speak up, the only way that one can claim the throne of the Serpent's embrace is by the ritual.
As Lunarion picks up Dugungi's lance and he puts it on his back. Proceed.
All right. As the large procession begins to make its way out of the ziggurat, sorry, Mike went out. As the large procession begins to make its way out of the ziggurat, you watch as the 5 house leaders are preceded by many clothed serpents in ritualistic garb, and with them they carry a very unique poison, one of the Serpent House ritual. As they begin to exit out of the area, Cora, Sprocket, and Aralos, you all see as Lunarion is walking with now the 5 council members with a small procession of their guard and entourages as they begin to make their way towards the stairs heading up to the top of the temple.
Relative to core. Oh my god. Is he getting executed?
I don't think so. Well, hopefully not.
I
But
do not understand their ways.
it doesn't seem like he's fighting against it, so maybe not.
Can I see them?
They're like looking at you through the ruins. They're kind of like scoping out, and with all the commotion of the doors open, and they sort of are looking out. If you can roll a
Understood.
perception check to see them, but you don't like inherently see them.
Okay, I'll roll a perception check really.
Be nice to have one of those core
16.
phones right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
16.
16.
Yeah.
16. You do not see them right now.
Understood, that's fine.
Maybe we can slip out in the crowd and hopefully we can blend in.
Blend in?
Keep your hood up, Cora and Sprocket. And stay near me. Maybe we can play the slave thing off again if we get caught.
At best, at worst, if we get caught, maybe Lunarion might can give us a good word with these guys, you know?
As long as he's not being executed right now, then maybe we have a chance. As he picks up his dragon chessboard and puts it back in his bag.
All right.
I'm tired of beating you anyway, Cora.
Yeah, like I said, we're pretty bad at it.
Sprocket, are you ready?
Yeah, can we go now? Damn.
As Aralos tries to time a good time to leave the ruins.
Yeah, did you guys find like a as they sort of pass by, as you pop out, where are you headed to?
We're following the procession.
Okay. As you all make your way up the Grand Ziggurat to the top, with you all stealthily tagging along behind Lunarion and Entourage, you make your way to the peak where you find the Grand Eye hovering above the highest point on the ziggurat. And as the Arch Precept presents the concoction, a bit of poison seeps out of the eye into the tincture in his hand as he begins to stir it. You watch as the color changes from a green to a dark black. As he says, each of you shall drink, and whoever the gods decide shall arise. The new leader of Serpent's Embrace.
As Lunarion tries to whisper, Asmodeus, can you hear me?
Yes,
Where were you earlier?
was enjoying the show. This is going quite well for you.
Can you reveal yourself so that the others could believe me a bit more?
I could.
I don't win this, then I will almost certainly, no, I will most certainly die. I'm starting to feel like I wasn't quite prepared to die here. I really miss my friends right now. This is an unusual feeling. A sensation of longing for people you care for. Once again, you won't help. Fine.
I said I could help.
But what do you want this time? I don't have much time.
Nothing from you. I've been at work on a little project of mine, trying to ally your friends with the cause. And,
What have you done?
oh, don't worry about the young one.
No! As he picks the poison up and he just chugs it.
As he chugs it, your body begins to tighten up as you sort of fall back as priests catch you. As Sakar does the same as he snatches the vial and he takes it and he falls back as well, as you both are both kind of suspended in the air as you are both taking in. As you appear within this jungle-like environment, the sound of creatures oft in the distance. You hear stillness and the sound of flowing water.
Ziggurat?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Gary. Good.
Yeah, I said Lunarion. As you come to, you appear within this jungle where you hear stillness and the sound of running water.
Where am I? What is this place? This does not look familiar in the slightest. As he sort of gets up and he starts to sort of walk forward, looking around, examining the area around him. Hello! It's almost like I'm the only one. And I'd be damned if I called that devil again. Fine. Just like them all, Lunarion. But this time it'll be different. This time we have clarity. As he sort of proceeds forward with a bit more confidence in his steps.
As you walk around, you begin to have feelings of deja vu, of familiarity with the dirt beneath your feet as you sort of step into a clearing. And off into the corner, you see what appears to be like an ethereal small child that just sort of runs off out the corner of your eye.
What the? Hey, you! As he sort of run towards the child in the same direction as the child.
As you take off, you sort of chase between these different vines, dipping and dodging through different areas within the brush. As you come to a bit of a clearing and off into the distance, you can see the child sort of running down a long straightaway.
As he races towards the child as quickly as possible. I'm almost certain that I don't feel like Duke Ongi's lance or anything like that on my body, right? Like I'm just kind of.
You don't have any of your weapons at this point.
Yeah, so I'm just racing towards the child.
Okay. As you follow, you come to a point where you see a very large community. As the child sort of walks up to its mother, as it sort of walks up, and you see her hug around her waist, as dad comes around and puts his arm around mom, and they share in a huge hug there. You look and you see people hard at work at blacksmiths, and at the very top in one of the trees, there is a beautiful temple built within the canopy of these trees here. And it has the sigil of the Moonweaver.
Is this the people? Do I notice that they're Yuan-Ti?
They do not appear to be Yuan-Ti. They appear to be some sort of elf variant.
These people look like elves. I wonder if perhaps I shouldn't speak to them. But this temple, maybe there's something in there I could find. As he sort of paces towards the temple with a fair amount of speed.
As you sort of pace into the temple, you get this eerie feeling that people aren't really noticing you. It's almost as if you're walking through what appears to be some sort of dream or some sort of experience. You're seeing an ancient time. The technology is quite foregone from what people are used to now and how magics have developed over the age, and especially the clothing that people are wearing is quite evident of the times. And as you sort of ascend these large steps that are carved into the side of this giant tree leading up to this temple, you see people bearing gifts of gold, presenting them to what appears to be a woman clad in brilliant gold armor, sitting on a throne.
I want to sort of walk up towards it.
As you walk up towards her, you don't seem to draw any attention at all. As you see her sort of communicating with someone, and as you get closer, I need you to roll a perception check.
A nat 20.
Okay. You see what appears to be a book in the hands of a gentleman as he approaches after the small girl leaves the presence of this goddess. And this is a book that you're familiar with. You've seen it within the bastion. It
This
is
is
the
the book
book
of
of Asmodeus.
Yeah. And who's holding the book? Do they look familiar?
They do not.
As I try to approach this individual and say, "Is this your book? Is there something you are teaching the young girl there?"
As you approach them, they walk right through you as if you are a ghost. As he approaches the goddess and he begins to question her about things in the book. And he begins to get frustrated as she cannot answer any of the questions that he poses to her. And as you watch as this conversation goes on, many other people begin to get frustrated. As the cemeteries have been piling up, but they have not been able to reach their loved ones through her, despite the gifts that they bear. And with that nat 20, you can start to briefly hear what sounds like screams on the horizon as a horrific scene starts to unfold, as demons and monsters, balrogs and monstrosities begin to pour over the isles from the west, grabbing up children and destroying the lands, corrupting it itself. And as you watch out, the people begin to fend for themselves. And when they approach the temple to seek guidance, Sehanine is not there. I need you to roll me a Constitution save with advantage since you are immune to poison.
21.
As you look out in this scene, you look down and you see a small child. And next to that child, you see two items. One is a health potion. The other is a dagger. As you look down at this child, what do you do?
I look at the child and I examine the child for injuries.
The child has no injuries, but the child appears to be emotionally injured.
I will pick up the dagger. I will pick up the dagger with a thought in my mind that from the scene I just witnessed, if your family has abandoned you to save themselves, I will do what must be done and end your pain for you, for healing you in this moment would only cause you to live a lifetime of suffering. I am sorry your God could not answer your questions. I am sorry your God was not there to help or aid your people when the demons overrun your camp. I will take my dagger and I will put it to the blade of your God and enact vengeance on your behalf. A tear or two falls from Lunarion's eyes as he goes to strike the child.
As you go to strike the child, the scene explodes into what you would recognize to be a sort of pocket dimension. And within that space, a figure very familiar to you appears. As it comes forth and it says, I am your god, Seth, Lunarion. Tell me, why did you strike the child?
Struck the child to end the suffering for the child. The child's parents abandoned him and saved themselves when their god fled as demons overran their camp and began to kill the men, women, and children. The child appeared to be in a large degree of emotional distress. And since there is no hope for this child, I bear the responsibility of ending the hopeless life of such a sweet young boy. I will bear that sin, Seth, in hopes that in the greater future that I wish to create, there will be hope for those that wish to have faith in that which we call the divine. That is my answer.
And should you be chosen, would you seek to uphold my will or Zahir's?
What is your will, Seth?
Do you not know?
To be quite honest with you, Seth, my faith in you began to waver as my understandings of the gods began to change. I too read the book and the vision. I too feel the great pain and frustration that Sehaneen's fellowship felt. The lack of answers, the deafness, deafening silence from the gods. Do you have any comprehension of what I've been through? I have prayed to you several times, yet no answer. I used to wish to know why. That too has come to an end. I wish for change. Be it I do not wish for a great recycle. Not at this time. Albeit I do comprehend the necessity. I would say I follow my own will. The will of what I believe to be just. With the degree of conviction I'm willing to die for. If this be my last conversation with any living being, if these be my last breaths that I've drawn in this evening, I want my final words to be this. Hope can exist if we forge it with our own two hands.
And you truly seek to slay all gods.
As I look into the eyes of a god, I will answer truthfully as he sort of puts his back upright. He stands straight and he looks forward and into the essence of Seth. Yes, I do.
As you give me a perception check here.
"21.
As you look down and you hear the drips of the blood of the toddler that you slow just before falling on the ground, as the dagger is still freshly within your hand.
He sort of just looks at it. And he,
So you would raise your hand to slay a child, but not to kill the god that you claim to seek. You have failed, Lunarion.
wait, what? I didn't get a chance to. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Slaying the god. Could I slay you? I don't believe that this is an environment to which I could slay you in. Is this dagger a divine weapon that I could use to kill you with? If I believed it to be so, I would have done so already. I don't have my weaponry. But in the face of this child, after watching what he went through, I believe the choice to be obvious. Rather the answer.
All
quite
you have
unfortunate.
shown is that with power, you would use it to destroy the powerless. But in the face of power, you cower without it.
In the face of power,
Why
I
should
cower
we grant the
without it.
power of gods to one with that temperament?
I suppose a god like you couldn't quite understand the empathy of mere mortals when faced with the emotional distress of a child that has been left alone and godless. If you question my conviction to kill you, as he tosses the dagger down, is Seth in a physical form? Like I can see Seth?
You can see what you would believe to be Seth, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. I thought it was like a fog. Okay, cool. As he tosses the dagger down and he picks it up again and he slashes his left hand like across it, like almost like cutting his hand off on the left side. This is what I mean by I will bear the suffering of other mortals as well. And this is what I mean by I will kill a god, as he leaps at him and he tries to attack what he believes to be the vestige, or like the manifestation of Seth, as sort of like a representation of like a trinity in his emotions.
And
As if like signaling that he could do like all three.
Session. Yes.